and the Stampmaven. It's Monday night and it's time for live. I've got my laptop over here because I want to be able to see some questions as we're going along and say hi to everybody as you pop in. So hopefully this is going to work and help us out here. How is everybody doing tonight? You know, I've got a laugh here. Let me enlarge this so I can see your comments. There we go. Here it is in Wiley and this area. It's almost 80 degrees today. And just a few short weeks ago, it was -6. Can you believe it? Like an 80-degree swing. What's that all about? And I know we're going to be getting some hotter temperatures coming up. Well, I hope you guys all had a great day today. I did. Tonight, I'm going to be showing you some fun stuff using our Butterfly Brilliance suite of products. This actually is an early release collection. The stamp set and the dies are going to be in our annual catalog, which is coming out the beginning of May. Now, those of you that have been around a while know that our annual catalog typically has been coming out June 3rd or 4th. Well, Stampin' Up! Wanted to let our mini catalogs go for a little bit longer, so they've kind of adjusted the periods. So you can get this bundle of stuff now, but the papers that I'm going to be using are not going to be in the annual catalog. So if you like those, you might want to think about going ahead and getting those. So let me flip our camera around and we will get started with some fun stuff tonight. I will try to not make you seasick as I'm flipping the camera here. All right. I just have so much fun stuff I want to show you tonight. All right. So first thing, I just wanted to show you quickly, this is the stamp set that I'm going to be using, and it is all together in one piece. Now, what's funny is I know some demonstrators that have actually bought 2 of these so they could cut these apart and just stamp with them individually. But I'm going to show you a way that I stamp with them, so I don't think you would need to do that. So these are the dies, and we've got detailed dies and we've got the outline dies. These little pieces right here are what we are going to be working with on our second card. These are pretty fun. Then we've got this specialty paper, and this is one of the pieces that we're going to use. It's really cool. It's almost just like shimmer paper, but it's so thin. It's really easy to work with. And then, of course, if you watched my lives, you've seen this butterfly bijou paper. And what I really like about this is if you like blues and greens, then you've got a palette to work with there. If you like the corals and the pinks, you've got some there too. So a little bit of something for everybody. All right, so let's see. It is showtime. Yes, it is. Hey, Pam, I'm so glad that you're with us tonight. And Carol and Rhonda. Maria's here, Jan, and Rhonda made it. Lots of times she doesn't get off from work in time. And Donna's here. Woohoo! Okay, ladies. So here is the first card. Now, this hopefully looks kind of similar to you. This one, this butterfly, I cut out with the die cut This one I actually stamped. I stamped in the black Memento ink. I colored it in with the blends. This is the same piece of designer series paper, but I just cut it a little bit differently. So you see how it's got the darker jade at the top, and then it kind of lightens up at the bottom. On one of them, I cut it from here down, and on the other one, I used from there up. So that's another thing that I really like that you can use. Now, I wanted to show you some fun things with the coloring. So in this one, I stamped, like I said, in Memento Black, and then I chose my light and dark So Saffron and my light and dark Mango Melody. Of course, you could use whatever blends you have. You could use markers. Well, I wanted to see what it would be like if I didn't have as much black on it. So let's start with this one. Okay, I stamped this in crumb cake, and then I put a piece on top of this, and I blotted off a little of the ink. Then I put this piece down and got some more crumb cake. Then I started coloring with my black blend. I didn't like that at all. I thought it was too harsh. So then I took my black marker and I used the fine tip here, and I started going around the outside, and I liked that a little bit better. I took the blends and I was playing around there. So let me show you what it would look like then if you went back and you added that black. Then you can get a little bit of your definition, which looks more like this one here, where you've got the black around the edges. And then I took the lighter So Saffron here, and then I did the mango. So then I wanted to play with it and see, okay, what if I used my basic gray, which is a little bit lighter, excuse me, than the basic black. And that turned out okay. I was coloring it a little bit differently. And of course I would die cut this out, but that allowed more of the yellow and mango to show through. And then this one I stamped in the So Saffron. I used my blender pen and I started taking off some of the So Saffron and then coloring with the black. But I wanted to try something with you guys here and see if we liked it. So I'm going to put down the So Saffron. Then, and you could do this with any stamp. It doesn't have to be this. A flower stamp would be really cool to do it with. So I put my paper down, but then here's a little trick. If you take your Stampin' Pierce mat, you can see mine is Well Loved, and use that to press down with, okay, then you see you get a little bit of a clear image. Now, I'm going to, without re-inking, I am going to turn right back over, and I'm going to press again to get a next image. Now, see here? See how light that is? So now, if you started coloring, it would be like you wouldn't have all that black showing through. So let's just do a little bit of coloring here. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I want you to just see how this will change it up just a little if you use that technique. Then you can start adding, if you want, a little bit of your black in here, you can start adding some of that. Then let's bring in a little bit of our mango over here, and it's going to be a little bit darker. And I'm just coloring here. Okay. And then if you want, you can start adding some dark, more dark over here. And I recommend when you use these blends, you either do short little flicking strokes rather than going like this, because it allows you to color better, or use little circle strokes like this, and then just go around and lay down your color that way. Okay, so now we've got some gradation here. Now I'm going to take that lighter marker and I'm going to go back over here and start to blend that. So can you see as you start to blend, it's going to change the color a little bit. And then we'll come up here a little, and I'm just kind of doing this a little bit roughly to kind of show you. But as this dries, I don't know if you'll be able to totally see it, but it kind of gets a little more of a smudged look because you've got the ink underneath there, and the blender pen will kind of blend some of the ink as well. So if you don't like that look, I would stick with this black one, and then maybe just once you've inked it in the black and you've done the part with your paper like I showed you, then put another piece in there and it'll be lighter, more like this one. Okay, the other thing I wanted to show you on this card, can you see right here this a little hello? Well, there is, I used a punch on this one. And it's actually this punch right here. I had stamped it directly on this piece and it was tilted a little bit and I didn't like that. So I got out this scrap of Whisper White. I stamped it with the itty bitty greetings and then I punched it out and put it down on here. I also had a little black ink on my finger, which I got right here, so I covered it up with a rhinestone. I mean, think about that when you make little boo-boos. You don't have to throw it away and start over again. Okay, now, do you see this fun little part right here? I am going to bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I'm going to show you how I did that. I think this just turned out to be so cool on here. It gives you a little cool background, and if you notice, I used Just Jade solid cardstock behind the white and then behind the DSP, and on this one I use black, and it does look a little bit differently as it peeks through, and it's just kind of, you know, what do you like? So I am going to show you, I'm going to get all of these dies here. So the two I'm putting on here, this one makes the little holes, and then this one I'm going to show you on the other card. And then I've got this one here that's going to do something totally different. And I'm going to hold up the cardstock for you once I roll it, because you might not be able to see it when I'm rolling it. Okie dokie, let's pop these out of here. Okay, now look here. Isn't that the coolest thing? So here are my little dots. Here, this looks like brick to me. And then this one, it doesn't cut out. It embosses. So just imagine if you started putting this down in a different pattern. Let's scoot off some of this stuff. You can even do it off the paper, which is just really cool. And you can do it on part of the paper. You could have it just peeking out behind a flower or a butterfly, and it would just... Okay, so I picked the wrong one. Let me grab the right one. But hey, if you wanted to have embossing and cutting in the same thing, you could. But what I wanted to show you before I kind of fouled it up, see, contrary to popular opinion, I do make mistakes sometimes, and I am not shy about showing you, because that's kind of how we learn together, and we realize it's supposed to be fun. So, you know, mistakes happen. Okay, here we go. So see here how now I've got, you know, I could put this here and just make a pattern all over my cardstock piece or on just part of it. So it's really just a fun thing to use. Let me quickly pop over here and see if there's any questions quickly. And then I'm gonna show you what I did on my, this background piece here. All right, come on there, baby. Well, it's not cooperating. So if I can't see your questions right now, then I promise I will answer them a little bit later. So don't worry, we'll get there. Ah, here we go. Here we go, here we go. Carol, yes, it is an awesome set. Hey, Debbie, I'll take a minute to say hi to some others that I see. Lola from Green Bay, Wisconsin. I bet it's kind of chilly there, maybe. We've got Jan from Iowa. All right. Now, let me show you what I did. Let me get rid of this card for a second. All right. And let me bring in the other one I'm going to show you. So here is one where I use that paper. So all I did is I took that fun little piece, and what you could do, I just took this piece and I just put it all over on this piece of DSP first. What you could do is, and I'm going to show you, you could lay down your circle piece, and then I've got my butterflies that I already punched out. And where did I set them? I probably set my die cut machine on them, but we'll just pretend it's these for a minute. Okay, so you could put these on, and then when you put this piece here to make your little holes, then you wouldn't have to do it on your whole piece because it's going to be covered up. Either way works out just fine. Now I'm going to just go ahead and cut them with just my paper here. And Sometimes if they move, you can use washi tape. Stampin' Up! Does have a magnetic plate that they released with this die cut machine, but unfortunately it had some problems, so they had to pull it off the market, but I am confident it's going to come back. So we're going to just roll a couple of these, and I want to put another one here. And you can roll this off the paper. It doesn't have to all be right on the paper. Okay, so let me just do a couple more here, just to give you the grand idea. And then I'm going to just put one over here. All right, and then I'm going to show you some stamping on this too, and give you another little tip. I hope you guys enjoy these Monday night lives. I really like doing them and sharing techniques. I also have a once a month technique class the last Thursday of each month, where I do 3 techniques and a special fold. They're $25 a month, and you get entrance to a private Facebook group where you get the PDFs, a bunch of photographs, and then we actually have the live in the group. I post the recording afterwards, just like I do on these free lives, where you can have it basically forever. You can still ask questions in the group after we're long done. But I've been doing these technique ones for well over a year, and I just love doing those too. Okay, so what I wanted to show you on this card, when I originally did this one, I used one of the circle dies to cut out the paper. But let's say you don't have the circle die and you still like this card and want to do it. If you have a ribbon spool, you could have a glass. All you have to do is put it down on your paper, trace around it with a pencil or a pen, and then just go around and cut it out. And it works just fine. I'm actually using this side. Then, what's really also cool, and I know Carol has seen this because we had Stamp Club over the weekend, and I showed it to them there. This is a punch that Stampin' Up! Sells in the annual catalog, and it actually coordinates with this new paper. So this little punch right here, look here, how that just zips right in here. And look here, you've got the butterfly here, the detailed part, and then you've got just the fun pattern on the other side. Now this bigger one, actually, let me find the other piece of paper here that has a bigger one right here. Okay, you can use, I can get out that little piece, you can come in on your punch here and you can punch this butterfly out right here, okay? And I'm not going to do it because I actually want to use this big one, but you can also come over and let me just trim this part off so we can get that in the punch, and you can see how that will go. All right, you can actually get this one in here too, right like this, and you can get the pink one a different size. So if you happen to own this punch or you want to get it, that is something else that you can do that is awesome. Okay, so here are my little butterflies that I couldn't find. So what I wanted to show you is, okay, I did this with just jade, But look on this circle piece right here. There are so many colors. There's So Saffron, Just Jade, Misty Moonlight. There's Blush Blossom here. Of course, you could use this side that has the Calypso Coral in it as well as the Calypso Coral right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to layer this piece on here eventually. But what I wanted to do first is stamp a different greeting on here. And what I'm going to do, I'm using the Lovely You stamp set, and I'm going to actually send this card to my friend. So I'm going to use the Miles Apart, but still in my heart. And I'm going to use the Misty Moonlight ink because my base is Misty Moonlight. And so I wanted to show you on this one, you notice the smile is stamped and punched on that piece that I showed you before. And the reason I did that is, look right here. I smeared this when I was stamping it because I was just in a big hurry. But look, who's going to know that? Nobody that I send this card to, well, hopefully, is going to peel that off to see if I made a mistake. So the way you can avoid that kind of a mistake is you can use a Stamparatus. You can put your grid paper by it, but you know, I am what I call a random stamper. Of course, I like my cards to look very nice, but I am not, well, hey, I got that pretty darn perfect there. Now, we'll need to let that dry so it doesn't smear, but I was going to show you on this card, I used this Blush Blossom ribbon here. But look, we've got Misty Moonlight and we've got our Magenta Madness, either one of which would look fine on this. Now, I'm going to use the Misty Moonlight because I'm going to use that on my card base. So all I'm going to do is just cut a piece here, and I'm going to put it right behind this circle, just like this. So see what I was telling you, that I didn't even put any of the cutouts here because I knew I'm going to come back and I'm going to put that circle right over there, so I don't need that there anymore. I'm going to just put some of my adhesive on the back here, and I'm going to get the ribbon so it just peeks out a little bit. And let's do it like this. Okay. Now, I'm going to use adhesive on the back here. And I'm going to be just a little bit careful. And I need my little silicone mat to help get my ink going. I mean, my adhesive going, because sometimes it sticks, and all you have to do is just give it a little push over there, and then we're going to layer it right on here. And I already know it fits because I did it ahead of time. All right, we're going to put our corners down so we make sure they're even all the way around. Then I'm just going to decide, hey, where do I want to place these guys? And again, I used this die right here to punch out my Misty Moonlight butterfly. Everything just coordinates so well. Now, instead of using our seal, I'm going to use my liquid glue, reason being, I just want a little bit on the back here. I don't want it all over the back of this butterfly because I want these wings to kind of stick up. Then I'm going to just go ahead because I've got it here. And I'm going to slip this butterfly right under here. Then on this one, you could use a dimensional. Since I'm going to be mailing this, I am just going to use the regular liquid glue. If I can get it to come out here. There we go. Because sometimes when you mail it, you know, you don't want to have a lot of those layers on there because you'll have to add extra postage. And of course, when I have this in my envelope, it's going to be flat. But my friend always calls me when she gets my card, so I'll tell her, hey there, Karen, you can put it on your desk and raise up these little wings so you just have that like they're flying. All right, and I'm going to do that with this one a little bit too. Now, the other thing, look here, we can take, I did rhinestones on, no, I did pearls on these too. On those other cards, I did rhinestones.